Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. See if everything's live. It looks like I'm talking. Let's check the Twitch. It says I'm live. Let's check the other Twitch. Who knows how that works? I don't know how that works. Anyway, welcome everybody. I am Taco Bill Kafer here. Getting ready to stream top 16 of the OCS. We'll be doing the 8-9 matchup here with Justin Branch versus Brian Fred. The winner of this match will get to move on and face Paul Myers, who you may or may not have seen last night defeat Chris Werfs to advance. The players are just kind of getting ready in chat while I kind of feel out streaming, since I haven't done this, in months, probably. We don't know what sides we're going to see here first, so we're waiting on that. Let me refresh this, see if I'm live on the PC Twitch or not. Auto host, check out Taco Bill. Alright. I think we're good. Just let everybody know here. Yeah, so we're looking at the 8-9 matchup here, which means that these are two players that nobody chose to play against, and I think that says something about their caliber. Justin Branch, Silverglen here, one of the only people to qualify for all 4 of the OCS top 16s, I believe. And then Brian Fred, he of the loud voice. Alright, can I see chat from this? That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, I'm fiddling with settings while we figure things out here. I don't know that I'm going to be able to see the PC chat. So sorry, chat fans. I see a message in the chat about Brian Fred having internet issues, so hopefully this game gets underway. I guess while we're waiting, we can bring up. We got a prediction contest here that's got a bracket for me. That'll show. We see that Paul Myers was the 1 seed, defeated Chris Werfs. Moved on. Winner of today's match, well, today and tomorrow's match, will face Paul. Maybe we get the long-awaited Brian Fred Paul Myers matchup that all the people want to see. Maybe we don't. Maybe we get Justin Branch moving on, part of that Euro block that's been testing together. Him, Timo Dussel, and Bastion, I've seen them playing a bunch of games together, the 3 of them. So, going to be a formidable set of opponents for whoever they're playing against. That's Mr. Joker King, who's in the chat, Mr. World Champion Joe Olsen, and Brian Fred here. Alright, 5 viewers, but I think that's all on the PC channel, so that's good. Alright, like I said, still waiting here for Brian Fred and Justin to get underway. I guess I can plug some other things if I've got them set up on my computer here. Jawa Cup is starting up soon. I think last count we have 24 players. And I haven't updated this in the last week, so Last time I updated it was a week ago. So we could have up to 30 players by this point. If you are not playing in the OCS Top 16 and not expected to be on the Outrider Cup roster, you can sign up. You just have to send an email to swccgjawacup@gmail.com. You can get in on that. That's going to be 6 games over the next probably about 2 months or so. We will cut to a top 8, and we banned the most played decks from Worlds essentially, and the most played decks in the Jawa Cup in the last year, or the Jawa format, excuse me. Alright, so I do see Brian in the chat. I do see Silverglen in the chat, the GIMP chat. Just having a little issue connecting here, I guess. I'll be curious to see, I think Silverglen is the 8 seed. I'm going to double check that. So he does get to pick what he's playing. Looks like he put up a light table first. As someone who's on Brian's team, we talked a little bit about what Justin might play. I think Brian Fred was a bit worried about him playing Old Allies. I know Justin has played Old Allies a lot in the last year and a half, even when it wasn't necessarily the top deck. Communing, always a big pain. What else? I mean, Lightside doesn't really have that many options right now, if I'm going to be frank, especially about my thoughts. Yavin 4 Operations, I could see him playing that. That seems to have a good matchup against most things. So I will say we are prepared for those 3 decks. Brian should be prepared for those 3 decks, though about 2 hours ago he was running around the team chat looking for lists for things, so we'll see what's going on there. And then for Dark, we talked a bit about running ISB. I think that's going to be pretty good against that range. I think CCT is a formidable deck. Obviously, I think all of us that were at Worlds used it. So we obviously like that deck. I wouldn't be surprised to see Silverglen running some kind of hate for scum because of that. Map, always kind of on our back, in our back pocket, ready to go. So could be any of those 3 also. So, let's see here. Where's my thing? Twitch says we have some viewers. AutoHost says we have some viewers, so we're good to go. OCS playoffs table is up. Justin playing light, Brian Fred gonna play dark. Alright, there we go. Alright, both players are in the room. We'll see some starting stuff here in a second. Alright, so we see that we were immediately wrong about the light side deck. Justin choosing to play with He Is the Chosen One, or HITCO, which I think is an interesting choice. Brian Fred going with the ISB, that I thought he probably would. Gut reaction says that I like ISB in this matchup. You're able to set up drains in space probably untouched for a while light side is only going to be able to set up maybe a drain of 3 and a drain of 2 if he's running enough lightsabers. There's some variations in this. I mean, if Justin is playing a more damage-oriented HITCO, something like C3PO virtual or some extra sabers, we see he starts the I must be allowed to speak, probably expecting a CCT. Although that kind of throws me a bit, because I think the big reason that, you know, the Team 5 guys played that is because they wanted to put down Old Man Luke and didn't have anywhere to put him. Whereas in HITCO, you're expecting to see Jedi Luke. So, and I don't think you can play the good farm with that card. You have to play the bad farm, since it's the good farm is an episode 1 location. Alright, so Brian talking about his internet going pretty slow, so that may come into play here. We see he's already gone about 45 seconds and hasn't done too much. Correct, Silver is not in Team 5 anymore, but that just seems like an anti-CCT card, I guess. It also helps with Stunning Leader, right? None shall pass, not Stunning Leader. Yeah, we're slow all around here, so we'll see if this works or not. Alright, so Brian Fred playing command first instead of using mobilization points first, but Justin not opting for don't do that again. The command went and got General Veers, while I'm going to do that a lot, Silver Branch. Silver Branch is a brewing company near me, so that's why I say Silver Branch. Silverglen opting to play quite a mercenary to get Chewbacca Protector. Brian now grabbing a couple things with Endor Shield. Gets Admiral Piet, likely to get Admiral Ozzel. Just kind of getting their opening plays out of the way here. There's Ozzel, there's a grabber shield for Justin. Grabber shield for Brian. And now we can actually start the game. So Brian's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 force here right away. Pretty standard first turn for him should be docking bay. Should be the Executor docking bay. Should be play Piet, pull Merrick. I don't think you can afford to put him down turn 1, but if Justin continues to not pull, don't do that again. You should set yourself up to get 7 force on turn 2, which is enough for Merrick, pull Bestman, drop a must never again leave the city, drop an Executor, and move everybody up. So by turn 2, he's set up pretty well in space. If he can find something like a Chernu or a planet earlier to kind of boost that activation, that'll be good for him. On the flip side, I think Justin's going to want to try to push damage. He's not afraid of Brian Fred coming down with ISB. I think this is probably I think he can probably know that this is a space ISB. I've probably seen that we have played this as a team before. Sorry, my throat's a little out of it today. I do have my tea in my fancy Jawa cup glass too. Alright, so yeah, so Justin's going to want to set up quickly on the ground. You might even see the 2-2 Death Star 2 site come out pretty early, just to set up that drain of 2, 3, if he can set up Luke with a saber there. So I'm guessing the game plan for Brian Fred is to go to space and stack whatever site Justin isn't at. I would be surprised to see Brian Fred come to the ground. It depends on what version of this ISB, right? So we do have a couple different versions floating around in our team list. Some of them are a little more ground heavy. We saw him pull General Veers already, so likely running a couple walkers in this list. Could see him set up maybe at some docking bays, depending on if he's running the Battleground docking bay version, maybe a Spaceport docking bay. The farm is going to represent an interesting choice for both players because for Brian, that's going to be a drain of 2, I believe. I should really open GIMP on this other screen too, or Scomp Link. What am I looking for? The Lars farm. Just have to put in Lars, and I want the light farm that is not virtual. Yeah, so that's going to be a drain of 2 naturally for Brian, and 3 if he's got an ISB agent there. While for Justin, that's going to be a big site because that's where he can get use pile pools. So it could be interesting how they set up, and it could be interesting depending on how much space Justin is running, but the turn 1 pool of Chewy Protector makes me think that it's not going to be much, if anything. Maybe a Tantive, maybe a... Probably not even Leia's Resistance Transport because it's kind of useless. So maybe Tantive, maybe... What would be a second ship? Maybe a booster in Skate and a landing claw, something like that, and set up a Bragwin somewhere. So we'll see how this plays out. Stimpy, the better Bill of the two of us, asking, why are people opting for HITCO over other mains platforms, I wonder? I think our game at Worlds will show you why. It's really tough when, you know, the focus of your deck as a Let the Wookiee Win deck is to play Jedi Luke somewhere, and you could just run into Bring Him Before Me, which ruins your day. It's really tough to play around that. Pretty much an auto loss, I think. You have to get really lucky to win that game. And so HITCO gives you the protection. I believe you have to stack 2 cards before you can do that. Luke may not be captured unless there are 2 cards stacked on Insignificant Rebellion, and only during the move phase. So HITCO also gets, you know, a couple different pulls. It gets, I don't even remember what it gets anymore because I haven't played it since it's been errated. You have the Our Only Hope, and I think that pulls both the Hut and the 2/2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it takes into hand Yoda's Hut or the Death Star 2 site. And then gets to move Prophecy around, so you get extra damage that way. Alright, so turn 1 for Justin for Silverglen. He did nothing. I think he just deployed a couple sites. Did he draw any cards? He pulled onto that again, and that was it. So definitely interesting. And then Brian on his turn 2 has pulled the Death Star 2 docking bay, deployed Merrick, pulled Bespin, has the They Must Never Again Leave the City. We'll get a free Executor for 2 force. Can move everybody over that. Next turn he'll be able to pull Kashyyyk and start draining for 2. Oh, he won't get it this turn because he's out of force. Looks like he accelerated to get the Must Never Again Leave the City. It's an interesting play to kind of throw that down there now because it's kind of in danger of getting altered. I get that he's trying to, you know, go fast and play the Executor for free if Justin doesn't pull Goldenrod, but I think he's going to pull Goldenrod if you have no force. So it's an interesting choice, especially not pulling either Alter Shield. Specifically in this case, the the Oppressive Enforcement to send it back to used. And right on cue he does pull There Is No Try. Alright, so Justin will start his turn here with 6 cards in force pile and activates 9 more, so he's got 15 to play with. Chat predicted this. Looks like Cornhorn coming down for 4 force, followed by Luke. Luke's going to be able to kill... I think the object of this is to kill Merrick, right? So that he can't pull the Kashik. But there's no way to pull the lightsaber, unfortunately. So that'll be interesting if he has a lightsaber in hand, or if he needs to play, you know, something else. Does have a lightsaber in hand. You'll get a quick stack. You'll get to kill Merrick. You'll get to take at least one more with you. Probably Ozzel or Piet. They're both forfeit 6, so I don't think it matters. There's the altar on They Must Never Again Leave This City. Yeah, I don't like the tint pull. I would have pulled Oppressive to save it. I mean, I also probably wouldn't have deployed it until you can make things go, but I guess you still run the risk of it getting altered then anyway. So a pretty good opening 8 here for Justin. Getting a Luke, a Spy, a lightsaber, and an altar in his opening 8, because he didn't draw any last turn, so not what Brian wanted to see. Alright, so we will have a battle here, and Luke likely to swing at Merrick. You guys can hear me and everything, right? I'm not just talking into the void. Alright, so Luke will hit Merrick easily, drawing a 6 and a 4. Oh god, it's visible. I had a week off from work last week because I was in a class from home, and whenever that happens I don't shave, and then you got November coming up. I'm going to get a little head start. Justin draws a 5 for Battle Destiny, so that will become a... Does it stay 5? I guess you have to be at a battleground for this to work. Yeah, so it stays as a 5. Brian drawing a 2. Not going to be able to get rid of anybody. So that's going to be 18 to 10. Brian will have to stack a card. He'll have to lose Merrick. He'll have to lose one of the other 2, and then potentially the second one as well, or 2 cards off the top. Or 2 cards from somewhere, I guess. Stacks a card from hand, stacks an I Can't Shake Him V. So there goes Piet. And then 2 cards, so I Can't Shake Him from hand. A second I Can't Shake Him from hand. And a Callus from used pile. At least that's one he'll get to retrieve later. That is a good point. This deck does not play as many ISB agents as some of the other versions from last year. When we were running, you know, asking if 30 cards was too many. It was just 2 overflow. He lost I Can't Shake Him and Callus. Meanwhile, Justin does not have to lose anything, and he'll get to draw a couple cards here to refill that hand. The good thing about this for Brian is that this will be a non-battleground, and the docking bay transit is going to cost plus 7? It's going to cost 7 from here. And because he's not running Insurrection, he doesn't have the Home 1 docking bay, which I don't even know if that makes it free, but doesn't matter because he doesn't have it. Alright, so Brian will get 9 force here. He deploys the Vengeance for 7. That'll unsuspend mod points, giving him 1 extra activation at the moment, but he's very likely to move Ozzel to the Death Star 2 docking bay. Colonel Wolf comes down for 1 force and activates 2. Not great, not terrible. Coward will come out to prevent that drain. And then we'll see Ozzel transit over to the Death Star 2 docking bay. Most likely. Dylan correctly pointing out that Justin likely to run a first aid combo. Maybe a neighboring combo, or maybe not a combo, a neighboring as well. But that's less good with IAO on the table. I thought it just had to be limited to exterior sites. So this is exterior. Right? Yeah. But likely to be running the Odin combo anyway, just in case Brian played disarmed, but I guess not really, because like my father before me prevents disarmed, so. He also hasn't drawn many cards. I think he's only drawn 2 cards this entire game so far, so he won't have it this turn most likely. And it won't be until move phase anyway, as we pointed out. So safe for a turn. Well, safe from, moving there for a turn, at least. So Justin does have Jin in hand. That's a really good hand. I can only imagine what profanities Brian Fred is yelling at the moment. Agrees, says good hand. So here comes Daughter, following Jin. So we're looking at, 8 power versus probably 1 power and 6 forfeit. So already losing 1 plus a draw. And then following that up with Chewy Protector, who is, 7 plus a draw now if Brian doesn't have a Gick. Gonna cancel Ozzel's text for good measure. Maybe he should have lost Ozzel instead of the 2 cards. I mean, I should probably look at the list that is in chat and see if we played the thing or not, but Kessling will tell me. Yeah, so Brian looking at 7 cards plus a draw with probably no Gick. Assuming this Daughter goes through. Which it does. So Ozzel will be power 1, forfeit 6. So that's covering 7. So 7 plus a draw. Looks like I'm going to have an early day. Maybe they'll play 2. Brian Fred put in chat, well, my OCS top 16 experiences have been awesome ones. And he says, you got it. And I think he's just going to go ahead and concede. Yeah, going to go ahead and concede. So I believe that they're just gonna not play game 2, right? So all right, well, it was a quick one, but it was packed with action. So looks like Silverglen is going to be moving on, presumably. Yeah, after you know, handing presumably 2 spies. All right. Oh, no, that's the wrong button. There we go. Yeah, so I guess thank you guys for joining me very quickly here on a Tuesday afternoon. And look forward to, I think we got games tonight. I think Matthew Harrison Trainer is playing a game tonight against, who's he playing against? That is against Brad Kipple. I think they're playing about 4 hours from now, I think is the right time. I'm not 100% on that though. Yeah, looks like about 4 hours from now. 60 more minutes of airtime to fill. No thanks. And then you'll see a couple games tomorrow as well, I believe. Actually, the only game scheduled for tomorrow is game 2 of this match, so I don't know that we'll see one tomorrow. We're still waiting to see when... Okay, tomorrow night, Justin Desai and Connor Britton will play game 1. Somewhere in the 8 to 9 time frame, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, look forward to more of these games for the rest of the week, and thank you guys for joining me here, and have a good one.